In this video, I'm going to show you how to program a custom notification program where in your WooCommerce store, if you click on the Add to Cart, it will send an email so that you will know instantly when you have an Add to Cart event. And we're going to do this using Jquery and Ajax, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now. I've got a new plugin that we're going to code. I'm just going to call it Add to Cart Notices for the moment. So let's go ahead and get this plugin created. We're going to create a new file, and then I've got some code started here that will just speed this up a little bit. Basically, we're going to start our PHP and define the plugin, and let's save this. Call this functions. Whoops. And activate our plugin. All right, so we've activated our plugin, and now let's start with our coding. All right, so we're going to be using Jquery to create a click event on the Add to Cart button. So let's inspect the Add to Cart button and take a look to see what's going on here. In this, we have a class button, product type simple, Add to Cart button, Ajax Add to Cart. So we are going to do this by assigning the click event to the class. So I want to go into a variable and take a look at those Add to Cart buttons and see if they're any different. So we have single Add to Cart button, and let's bring this over so you can see this just a little bit better. So they have a couple. They have single Add to Cart button, and alt. So we're going to focus on the ones that we need, which are going to be single Add to Cart and Add to Cart button. So let's start our coding. The first thing we're going to need to do is enqueue our jQuery code. So we're going to do wp enqueue scripts. And our callback function, let's call this, I'm going to use underscores. So now we're going to define our callback function. All right, so there's our callback function for our enqueue scripts action. So now we're going to register our script. And we're going to give it a name, and let's call this we can just call this an Add to Cart script. Now we need to define where it is, so we're going to do plugins URL. And we're going to put this, we haven't defined it, we haven't created it yet, but we're going to put it in the assets. And let's just call this Add to Cart events JavaScript. Now the next parameter that we need to put on here, this will help define where this is. And then we want to specify that it is dependent on jQuery. Now I'm going to give it a version so that if we need to update this, we can change the version number and it won't cache the jQuery. I've run into this problem before, and that helps a lot. All right, so now let's see that I have typed that correctly. It'll be pretty quick to find out if I've made an error. It looks like I've typed it correctly. So now that we have registered the script, let's enqueue it. not scripts, it's script, WP&Q script. And the name of the script is the add to cart script. And we could copy and paste this right here. Before we run this, we want to create the jQuery script, and then we're going to check to make sure that it's really there. So here we're going to create a new folder called Assets. And then within this folder, let's create our jQuery function. And what did we call it exactly? We called it Add to Cart Events JavaScript. I'll just copy and paste this so that it is easier. So let's save this, and I'll bring this window over. Alright, so within Assets, we're going to have our Add to Cart Events JavaScript. And so now, just for kicks and giggles, let's put in a comment, and then we'll run it and check to make sure that it's there. View page source. Alright, so I've done a Control F, and here is our Add to Cart script. So let's click on this and take a look. And we have a problem. So let's see what's going on here. There it is right there. Assets. Let's go back and debug this. And there it only has one. Alright, so there is our comment, and that is the jQuery file that we just created. So now we have it set up so that it's enqueued properly. And so let's start programming our jQuery. So we don't need that anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a ready function. And here's our ready function. Basically, if you're not familiar with what this is, the ready function says it's going to wait until the entire page is loaded before it executes this script. I forgot a semicolon. There. Sorry. We're going to tell jQuery to look for that class that we just discussed a minute ago. So how you do that is you basically say this: look for the class single add to cart button, and also look for the class add to cart button. Now when you find this class, we're going to do an onClick function. So on what? Click. So when we click that, what are you going to do? We're going to create an anonymous function. And within that function, what we're going to do right now is just make sure that it works by creating a simple JavaScript alert. And this way we'll know that the button was actually clicked. So at the end of this, we need to close the function. So let's make sure that this worked. I'm going to go back over here, reload the page, and there is our click button. So let's also check other buttons to make sure. So here's read more, and there is no click. And then we want to go inside a variation and see that this works on the variation level. And there it is. So basically now we are set up to the point where the click event works, and now we're ready to move on the next step, which is our notifications. And for the next step, we're going to do that in the next video so that this doesn't get too long. So I'll add in the part 2 button once I have it complete, and then you can advance to the next stage of the tutorial.